Hi, my name is Emily Louie, and today I have the privilege of introducing the one and only Harlan Hutton. Who isn't obsessed with Harlan? Whether it be because of her boycott in lower school, her stop-motion videos in middle school, her long-lived phase as a Southern belle and a prima ballerina, or her impressive rise to fame as a guitarist, Harlan has a place in everyone's heart. It is safe to say that everyone is secretly obsessed with her. But we don't just love Harlan because she has gorgeous hair and is in a super hip band called Ferdinand. Harlan is always there to support you and build you up, and you can always count on her to laugh at any joke you say. She stands up for what she believes in and fights for her beliefs in the most gracious way possible. Harlan is not only an insightful, passionate person, but a genuinely kind friend who I have no doubt has an incredibly bright future in front of her. And that is why everyone loves Harlan. How could you not? Well, if you don't love Harlan already, you probably will by the end of her speech. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Anne Harlan Hutton.
Freshman year, the year of the Southern Belle. I strutted into freshman year wearing a Lily Pulitzer dress and listening to Luke Bryan's newest album, Tailgates and Tan Lines. I was identified by my fellow freshmen as the preppy girl. My self-given epithet during Miss Drynan's mythology unit was Harlan Hutton, lover of monograms. My preppy lifestyle went beyond clothing. It became my identity. Whenever the words Lily Pulitzer, Luke Bryan, preppy, or monogram were mentioned in class, I was the person everyone directed their glances towards. I dedicated my life to my It's a Southern Thing Pinterest board and my Southern Belle Tumblr, and I loved it. It felt good to have an identity that both myself and others accepted. I'm going to tell everyone something that I have buried deep inside the depths of my embarrassing high school memories. On January 19th, 2013, I attended a Luke Bryan concert. And now I'm going to say something I have never said and will never say again. I had a great time. I still sleep in my Luke Bryan t-shirt, and I still know every word to Country Girl Shake It For Me. Sophomore year, the year of the fangirl. I had quit ballet, pushed all of my Lily Pulitzer to the back of my closet, and picked up a guitar. I was good at being an angsty 16-year-old, complete with the "Mom, you're ruining my life" arguments I could instigate anytime, any place. Everything was going pretty well until one day, while perusing the internet, I happened upon YouTube videos of 5 boys. Sophomore year is what I have now deemed my fangirl year. Oh, how I wish this phase had come in middle school when it was socially acceptable to stay at home every weekend and make fan accounts on Twitter and Tumblr. But no, I spent my entire sophomore year trying to get a favorite or retweet from band members with millions and millions of teenage girl followers who were far more invested and seasoned at fangirl social media than I. That year, I listened to more One Direction than I care to admit. I saw the One Direction movie in theaters 4 times before buying it on Blu-ray. While our friends went out on weekend nights to create real relationships with real people, Madeline Fisher and I stayed home recording mediocre covers of our favorite boy band songs, hoping that they would find us on YouTube, ask us to tour with them, and fall in love with us. I was a Niall girl and Madeline was a Liam girl, but let's be real, everyone's a Harry girl at heart. Although I have moved on, there will always be a fangirl inside of me down to scream the lyrics to any One Direction. Junior year, the year of the music snob. I would roll my eyes at teenagers wearing Rolling Stones t-shirts, snidely whispering under my breath that they couldn't even name 3 songs. When people said they loved Vampire Weekend, I would think to myself that no one loved Vampire Weekend as much as I did. If a friend said she liked a band, I would ask her if she delved into the fundamental growth between their first and second albums. To my defense, my snobbery came from a place of deep love and loyalty to music. However, the more I perused the Pitchfork website to keep up my music genius facade, the more I realized how little I knew about music, and further, how little I knew about myself. I had no idea who I was anymore, especially since junior year was the peak of my emotionally and physically draining tendency to overfill my schedule. I was grappling at all of my identities, spreading myself too thin in order to conform to each. To say the least, I was confused. I didn't know why I couldn't fit into my old molds anymore. In high school especially, everyone has an identity. Some are self-imposed, some are given by others. Although it is good to have things to identify with, do not let your identities become more than they are, which are simply single aspects of your beautifully complex being. I am living proof that high school is a good time for experimentation. Freshman year me was as real as senior year me is. I was being who I wanted to be, and there is something to be said for that. As Hannah Meacham said last week, it will be so much more satisfactory to look back on high school and know that you did exactly what you wanted, despite any social standards that you broke. Don't think you're discrediting yourself or others by changing and growing. If you accept yourself, there is no excuse for others not to accept you too. During one of my worst identity crises that came halfway through my freshman year, I was utterly lost. My father, sensing my confusion and sadness, did what he does best. He wrote. This letter gave me peace of mind that I am enough without any of my identities. I have kept this letter all this time, and now I pass on his words to you because they hold truth for each and every one of you too. I believe that you are extraordinary, beyond ordinary. You have led a life of discipline, feeding the muse via attention and focus on being excellent. Life tends to continue on some paths of its own once you start down them. We all owe the world the greatest use of our talents. We are just stewards, tasked with being what we can be from where we are. You have a lot of responsibility. You have a lot of talent. Senior year, the year of the